Bear safety, staying safe around bears. And I'm no expert in nature. If you're around bears or you live in an area where there's bears, there's such thing as bear safety, especially when you're around a female bear, female grizzly bear, especially when you're around a female grizzly bear with her cubs. Never place yourself between a mother and her cub and never attempt to approach them. The chances of an attack escalate greatly if she perceives you as a danger to her cubs. You don't want those problems. My wife is the sweetest person in the world. If somebody were to mess with our children, those are problems you don't want. Bear can come out of the
Shut up. Get that video.
Yeah. Oh, it could happen. You don't want to mess with them. So, Democrat Party, why are you messing with mama bears? Every time I look up, I'm seeing another mama bear and I'm proud of them, having to stand up for the most simple, most ridiculous rules that we've seen in a long time. And let's look at Virginia. Virginia's governor, we're talking about Glenn Youngkin, joins parents' lawsuit against Loudon County Schools Over Masks. There's videos going around on Twitter where they literally have a camera showing Glenn Youngkin said, we did an executive order, masks are optional. And let's see what's happening here. Virginia's governor, attorney general, and superintendent of public instruction have asked the court to let them become plaintiffs in a lawsuit brought by parents against the Loudon County Public Schools. We're back in Loudon County, like one of the most pivotal places for the Civil War, not now Civil War, but 1860. Ground zero, from what I've seen, that's ground zero for the critical theory battle is Loudon County. And we're back here again. This lawsuit was brought on to unmask their children in schools. So we can talk about homeschooling. A lot of people are taking that option. A lot of people are still trying to go through schools. My kids are still through public schools. As long as everything's okay, we check it up, it's going to be okay. But some people are going to keep them in there and fight to make sure that their constitutional rights are not being, state constitution and constitutional rights in general are not being violated. Glenn Youngkin issued an executive order. I'm not a fan of executive orders, but it is what it is. It happened. Glenn Youngkin is issued an executive order saying that parents had the right to choose whether their children must wear a mask at school or not. Liberal jurisdictions refused to allow it, claiming they did not have to follow executive orders. That doesn't match with what you've been doing. The reason why, so I'm not a fan of executive orders, but the reason why obviously they've had to do it is Virginia is making a transition out of to my knowledge, the last few years, they've been Democrat in the governor, Senate, and state level. This is their state Senate, state House level. So they're coming out of this now. The Democrats messing with mama bears. The mama bears voted, and they voted for Youngkin for partly this reason. So he did an executive order. They probably couldn't have passed it through with the Democrat Senate. Governors like DeSantis have Republican problem. Republican governor, Republican Senate, Republican House, and they're pretty much all on the same page. So I give him credit for what he's been able to do, but you see he has an easier path than others. This is what they call, I believe, it's called a trifecta in state politics. So here's the lawsuit. I'm reading directly from the lawsuit. You know, lawsuits are all public. This is from the lawsuit. They said, on May 14th, then Governor Ralph S. Northam and the state health commissioner issued an executive order And they said, among other things, all students, staff, teachers, and visitors must wear a mask over their nose and mouth while on school property. It became effective and was to remain in force. Yeah, that governor, the Democrat governor, actually, we don't know which one he is. Remember, he said, I don't know. He's like, I don't really recall. Am I the one with the hood or the one with the paint? These Democrats. They care so much about Black people. But in the lawsuit, they said, well, hold up. And y'all had no problem complying with the orders under the Democrat governor to wear masks for indoor activities. So why you have a problem now? Obviously, it's not about the executive order. So now we're seeing people speak out even more. There was a contentious school board meeting. I listened to the whole thing. It's on YouTube. And a nurse, but this is separate from that, a nurse said, I feel some days that I'm participating in child abuse. They had the mama bears stepping up.
We play politics with kids' faces by placing restrictive fabric over their noses and mouths that the CDC itself has said don't do anything, and it's for their safety. This is asinine. This is blatant political theater, and it needs to end. Finally, regarding that end, I need to point something out that has been bothering me. On November 15th of last year, I had the privilege of speaking with Dr. McDade for 10 minutes following the CRT town hall meeting. During that discussion, which was friendly and cordial, I asked what she, as superintendent, could do to get the kids out of masks. Dr. McDade told me that she would if she could, but that her hands were tied by then Governor Northam's executive order mandating face coverings. And if it weren't for that, things would be different. Well, tonight, things are different. And I'd like to ask you, Dr. McDade, tonight, what has changed? And what do you plan on doing now that your hands are untied? I'm asking all of you to step up the way other leaders who have and are ending COVID restrictions by the day. What will it take? You are on the losing side of history, and it's time to make that right before these children now.
Thank you. Christy Buzzy.
That's the mama bear having to protect her cub. And that will happen. It doesn't matter if you call them right-wing, if you call them racist, you're going to call me that as well. It doesn't matter. We can see what's happening. You're losing more than just suburban white women. You're losing Black people. You're losing all demographics. We've had enough. Why can't you understand? Are you hard of hearing? Democrats fear they're losing white swing voters. You're losing more than that. Over racial politics, you're losing everyone. The only people left are those that have your boot in their mouth. And some of them are taking it out. Remember when Jamil Hill, I would say an actor of the state, in my opinion, she said after Virginia flipped governor-wise, Winsome Sears, it's not the messaging, folks. This country simply loves white supremacy. Oh, that's what you think this is? Is that what you thought it was? Go ahead and keep thinking that. Here's where I'm going to end. I'm going to play this. This is a clip I played the other day. It was a shorter clip. This is the game of life. If Democrats better, I don't want this to happen, but if I'm going to give them advice, they better figure out a way to implement that social credit score quickly. Meaning, if you talk like I'm talking right now, you shut off my bank account. If you don't get that quickly.
Criticizing the government online is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit, given a mark out of a possible 950 points. A score in the 700s is considered good. Around the 500 mark is not.
I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules. I think being ranked is a good thing. A society has to have rules.
Forces us to be well behaved. Forces us to be well behaved.
It may seem scary, but it's just like that here. We're used to it. And anyway, we don't have a choice.
The state will go over every detail of a person's life with a fine-tooth comb. Criticising the government online is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit. Criticising the government online is a no-no. On the other hand, praising the party or giving blood increases your social credit.
If they don't get that done, the Democrat Party is not going to be able to exist anymore. They won't have voters. If we have elections with integrity and we don't have a social credit score, it's over. You see what's happening now. I saw kids at a school earlier today on Twitter. They just walked out. They're like, we're not wearing the masks anymore, and we're not scared of you. That indoctrination's not working. I know that people have said this kind of stuff before, said about the Republican Party, Democrat Party. Oh, is this the end of the party? This is the end. If these truckers have to roll up in here like they did in Canada and to do it in America, it's over. No one's going to forget that. And they're not going to vote for you. When you have Kim Iverson, one of the biggest figures on the populist left, she said she's voting down the board straight Republican. She's done. She's a leftist. She's an intelligent one, a smart one. She's not a bootlegger. So this is a white pill moment. Let me know what you think.